Testing. Oh my. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Is everybody having a good time?
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. A final draft, as you guys might know. And I would like to introduce to the stage here in just a second some actually masterful shadow puppeteers. They've been practicing actually for months in the mountains of Tibet at the workshop of a great shadow puppeteer guru. His name is Black River.
Do a barrel roll!
Don't get greedy. All right, well then, I might as well get this started. You guys ready for the voice acting panel? Let's give it up for first and certainly not least, Michelle Krieber.
Hi.
That was really an emphatic thought.
Yes.
That was
It
really
makes
great.
sense.
That's good.
Yes.
Please don't share my hair on stage. Anybody seen that? No? Okay. All right, and then, of course, Andrea Lippman.
I can't do that.
Okay, so just so you guys know how this is going to go, I'm asking just a few general questions, and then we're going to go to Q&A. And I believe the way we're going to do this is once everybody's filtered in, they're going to close those doors. There are going to be 2 lines for Q&A, one over there, one over there. There will be a helpful AV staffer wearing a blue shirt who will make sure your question is appropriate. Just remember that kids always get to ask the questions first, and also sponsors. So, you guys got all that?
Yeah.
Are we good to go? Yeah. Excellent.
This is fancy lighting.
It is really good,
I've
isn't
never
it?
had such fancy lighting on the panel.
Yes, we set it up.
Look at that.
Are you guys having fun so far?
Me too.
So, first question for you two: have you had a chance to see the Mall of America yet?
No.
No.
What?
No, because we had to come to this panel.
I'm sorry.
Come on, you guys.
No.
Honestly.
It's not a
You guys
bad
did
thing.
to them.
We could
It's
be
right
the Mall of
there. The
America.
mall is so close yet. It's so far.
There's a shuttle.
Yeah, I really.
There's a shuttle bus?
Yeah.
Ooh, excellent.
And Metro Transit.
Yeah, there's that too.
Good to know.
Well, again, I asked this at the writers panel, but I'm curious now too. Show of hands, who here? This is their first Brony convention ever.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm
Awesome,
saying.
you guys.
So, yeah. So just for those who haven't been to one of these panels before, maybe if you could introduce yourself and the voices or singing voice,
Yes.
vocal
Yes.
voice
Yes.
that you do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Great. Sounds good. Hola, my name is Michelle Krieber, and I voice Apple Bloom, original Stay for Brunch, and the same voice of Sweetie Belle. So there we go. Yes.
And my name is Andrea Lippman, and I voice Pinkie Pie. And she's always talking really fast. Chirpy, 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 chirpy. Okie dokie, Loki. And the other one is Fluttershy, and she's really shy. There's Fluttershy. Oop.
Well, I guess my first question for you, just because a lot of these guys might not have heard it before, how did you guys get involved in voicing for My Little Pony?
Oh, yes, I've never heard this
You've
question
never heard that
before,
question?
ever.
No.
Would you like to start? Or?
Sure. So I've been doing voices for cartoons for a pretty long time. I used to do Madeline, the little French girl, and I did Dragon Tales. I was Emmy. I did Reboot. I did some, Japanese dubbing, Gundam 00, Dragon Ball, that kind of stuff. So I've been doing it for a really long time. And so I got the call to come and audition for My Little Pony, and I thought, and they said they're redoing it again because I was actually Sweetie Belle on the previous My Little Pony. So I thought, oh no, I'm gonna lose my chance because I was on it before. And it was a really exciting audition because I don't know if any of you can relate, but I grew up with My Little Pony, so I already loved it, so I really, really wanted a part. And so I auditioned for it, and you could just cross your fingers, but I never thought that they'd let me do 2 voices on the show, so that's just been the best thing ever. And then all of a sudden we got involved, and then there was these amazing fans, and so it's just been pretty much the most exciting, wonderful time in my career, because I get to meet all of you guys, and it's just been the biggest, best show I've ever worked on. So thank you for making it that. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to meet you. So thanks.
Well, I started voice acting when I was about 7 or 8, and I didn't really start with more like voice on screen kind of acting. I started with more stage and theater performances because my parents were both kind of in that realm of like musical theater and sessions and stuff. So when I was 4, my dad was working on a project, a voiceover project that like required young children as voices for animals. And we played it once on our show. Me and Mike and Mike's. There we go. Good grammar. Look at me go. And yeah, so I voiced this tiny little animal. What was it? It was like a fox or something. So that's pretty much how I started. I was 4 and I did one of my dad's sessions in our little basement. So yeah, that's how I started. Hey. There you go today.
Well, My Little Pony has been running now we just finished season 4, we're going into season 5. It's been running now for several seasons, and I guess the question for both of you is, what has changed for you in regards to voicing your characters since season 1, now going into season 5 this fall? How has performing those characters changed, or has the process changed for you?
I would say it's changed a ton, because one thing that's really wonderful about the writers of the show is they stick true to character for the most part. But the characters are going through different situations that they've never approached before, so you have to find a way to stay within character and bring it to life, but still find something new. So I would say that every episode we record is a different challenge. The writers are super creative with what they come up with, and we have to find a way to bring that to life, make it exciting, but also and I think what's really cool about the cast of the show is we really take a lot of ownership over our characters, and we're not willing to compromise. We'll speak up when we're in a session. We'll say, no, Fluttershy would never say that. So it's kind of nice, we feel we're pretty passionate about it. But the process is similar. And then I guess the only other piece is now we really know we have an audience.
Yeah.
We have to be good.
For me and Maddie and Claire, Scootaloo and Sweetie Belle, us being young and young characters, we're growing up, but our characters aren't really in the script. So that's kind of the case with all shows, that the characters don't grow up, but of course the voice actors do, and that can sometimes be a problem. But I've kind of had to really go like higher pitch than my regular voice, because my regular voice has gotten a lot lower since I started when I was 9, right? So I just have to be careful of that sometimes. But we're all very, very comfortable with our voices, so we know what to do. And so yeah, I just have to bring it up a little bit more.
Well, one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that you guys aren't just working on My Little Pony, you're also working on a lot of other projects. Can you talk a little bit about some of the other stuff that's going on? Maybe things that you can officially talk about?
I'm allowed to talk about Pac-Man. That's a show that I'm working on. I play Cylindria. It's a fun show on Disney. What else am I allowed? Maya the Bee, we wrapped a while ago, but I heard, actually I don't think they're airing it in the States, but they're going to air it in Canada, so if you live in Canada. Anyone here from Canada, like us? Yeah. You 3 can watch Maya the Bee.
Not necessarily too much in the voice acting area, but I just booked a series regular on a CBC show.
Ooh. Woo! Congrats.
Thank you. And it says coming out in the fall, October. So we're starting filming on Friday, actually, when I get back to Vancouver. It's very exciting. It's kind of like the new generation of CBC. It's a very different show from other previous shows, so it's going to be really cool. Cool, yeah.
Well, and I should say too, you guys have both appeared on screen as well. Michelle, you've been in episodes of Supernatural. You've been in an episode of Eureka. Any fans of those shows? And then actually, Andrea, you've been in a couple on-screen roles as well. Care to share?
Yeah, X-Files. Do you know that? Andre the Seal, Little Women. Yeah, Little Women. Yeah, that's right, my brother.
Okay.
Well, you know, I don't want to take up too much time with these questions, and I know these guys have a lot. So like I said, we've got 2 lines that we're going to try and form, I believe, on the sides here. We've got some microphones. If you guys want to start forming those lines while I ask them one last question. If you have questions for these guys, again, remember, kids get to ask first, and then sponsors, and then also just try to remember also that these guys can't talk about anything that has not been released yet. As much as I'd love to grill them on season 5, Andrea. We can't.
If I don't make eye contact, like the question never happened.
So I guess, yeah, while they form the lines, I actually wanted to ask you guys about lines. For your characters, is there a favorite line of yours, or a favorite scene that you've performed in one of these episodes that you can remember?
Well, my favorite scene is where Pinky is in Party of One and she's losing it.
So funny.
That is correct, madame. And just all those different, you talking to me? It was just fun to do all those inanimate objects.
That's so funny. I love that.
You and Kathy both love those inanimate objects.
What's that?
You and Kathy Westlock both love those inanimate objects.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something about, and then, did you guys see, I guess I was credited as being a seedling? And what it just coughed or something? Those are the good roles.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, hello. I just popped it right off. The little clip thing. Perfect. I think one of my favorite things that Apple got to do was, again, another French thing. The cutie mark pox.
Cutie box.
Cutie box.
Yeah.
That was really fun. Yeah, it was pretty hectic script, so it's quite exciting.
Well, all right. Well, let's get to the questions. I guess we can start over here. It's done.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like you're going to explode and 1 being you'd be somewhere else, how excited are you being here?
No pressure. Are you excited to be here or what?
10.
Always 10. Always
10. It really is 10. Obviously, we're really excited. I'm really excited to be in Minneapolis. I think it's awesome here. I've so far eaten some really good food.
Yeah.
And there's so much to see, and people are super friendly, and you guys are here. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
She hasn't admitted it yet, but about a year and a half ago, I was in Miami actually with these two. There was a convention they called Animate Miami, and Andrew said, "Mike, you should start a convention in Minneapolis." And I said, "What makes you say that?" "I love your airport."
It is the best airport.
It is. It really is. It's so cool. I even said that, like, I've never been here at all, and I've never been to the airport, and it's a lot like Vancouver. It's like this whole city. It reminds me, like, out of all of the like American cities that I've been to, this definitely reminds me the most of Vancouver. Like, just the general kind of architecture. I don't know if that's getting too fancy,
It's the
but
seacoast.
Whenever I fly somewhere and I have a choice, it's like, oh, you could connect through here, but I'm like, Minneapolis. Yes, I can order food from an iPad and they bring it to you. Come on.
futuristic airport. But yeah, I mean, honestly, it's always a 10 coming to conventions, seeing you all, talking to you, having little conversations, asking you like how you got into the fandom. It's all so interesting and so lovely for us to hear all your stories, and it's great. It's such a lovely experience. So, yes. Yes, indeed. Yeah.
What if you had to cross over with with other hub shows like Pound Puppies and Littlest Pet Shop? What would the story be?
Ooh, that would be fun, wouldn't it? Maybe, I always hear that the monkey in Littlest Pet Shop is kind of like Pinkie Pie. So I think maybe, what's her name? Is it Minka?
Yeah.
The monkey? I think her and Pinkie Pie would just go crazy together. They'd eat a ton of cakes, and then they would just bounce off the walls.
What about Pound Puppies though? Like, what would happen though? Like a full crossover between those three series? What would the storyline be?
Maybe there would be a race between ponies and puppies, and they would see who's the fastest, and it would be Rainbow Dash.
What about the Littlest Pet Shop thing? It would be a big story though, I think. A weird villain, I guess.
That would be good. They should do that, don't you think?
Yeah,
I
like
love it.
a weird clock villain who would
A clock villain.
like he would use like a clock to
How jolly of you.
worlds.
I think you might grow up to be a writer.
Yeah.
Yep.
I see some potential there.
And then you have to cast us in all your shows. Thanks for your question. That was great.
Thank you.
How did you figure out that you were going to be like Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy and Apple Bloom and Sweetie Belle? Like, how did you figure out you were going to be those characters?
How did we get informed that we were going to be playing the roles? Oh, well, when we book roles, we get a call from our agent, and then they call us and they say, hey, remember that show that you auditioned for 3 months ago? Guess what? So that's pretty much what happened. Yeah, it's not the most exciting thing. Well, obviously, when you find out that you get the role, but it's not like they give you a cake and all this. They, your agent calls you like, hey,
You know what? I like
should
that
do this,
idea.
honestly.
A cake just shows up your house and you know you booked a role.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're already on the side, you know?
They just take one look at it, they're like, oh, it's chocolate.
What's a typical day in the studio like?
Oh dear. A lot of voices, a lot of, improvisation, I guess. We're always talking in different accents, Indian and then we go to British and all of this stuff. But it's really fun because we especially on this show. I mean, we know each other all quite well because we travel with each other, and so we know each other outside of the studio. And it's great because on a regular show you wouldn't really have that connection with your other cast members. So we're all very comfortable with each other and are comfortable with our director and our producers and stuff. So it's just very fun and very calm and
It's like a comedy show.
yeah.
Comedy of errors.
If they filmed us in the studio, it'd be just as entertaining as the show itself.
They should do that.
Make sure.
Yeah.
All right, first, girls, I just want to say thank you very much for being the voices of such great characters. I mean, you really do help bring that dream alive from the characters, so thank you for that. My question is, I'm very sure you two are very much in love with your characters, but if you had the opportunity, if you had the choice, what other pony would you like to play?
Competition.
Well, I think it's like background ponies that haven't spoken yet.
Yeah. Background ponies are really fun.
I always wanted to play one of the musical ponies, like Octavia or Lyra.
Best feeling is when our producer comes up to us and says, okay, you're going to be playing blah, 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 number 2, and blah, 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 like Pony in the Village, number 3. And it's like, yes! Yes!
fun thing ever. It's so great. I got to play Fleetfoot, and she's a wonderful, and that was pretty awesome.
What was the most awkward time and strangest voice acting you have ever done in the history of your career? Like, what scene was the most odd?
I think there's been some pretty strange walla. Like I remember doing a sea of shrieking eels. It's just the things. I don't know. Walla is really weird. There's one scene in My Little Pony that not that long ago where Pinkie Pie was eating, and I had to eat this chocolate cake, but I just kept eating it, and I had to do it over and over and over and over.
Right.
But it could have been worse, Cake's pretty good.
I think one of the strangest things that I've had to do, it's against the kind of like smaller characters that they tell you that you're gonna do. I did a show. It's like a Japanese show, and I had to be the voice of like a flower that's like evil, and I don't even remember what the plot was of this, but I just remember how, like it was all again like this kind of like shrieking like. I don't even know where that show went, but it's like one of those like not prelay but like post-production voice acting, so like you're doing it to a screen, right? So that was definitely a unique script.
Yeah, that sounds very Japanese.
As you can tell, we all enjoy watching and getting excited about My Little Pony. What excites you? What do you guys geek out about?
Oh.
I know what Michelle geeks out about. The Office. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, don't even get me started. I know everything there is to know about The Office. That is my pride and joy. I love that show to death. I get so into it that like the season finale, I was crying, and when Michael came on the screen, I screamed. At the time, I was like, I am like 100% Office fanatic. That's my kind of.
It's actually kind of scary. We co-host a show called Saturday Night Songs. We're going to be doing a live version of it tomorrow night.
Yes, that'll be very fun.
And if anybody at any point in the IRC chat or in the conversation makes any reference to anything even remotely connected to The Office, she can just start quoting. She just keep going.
I can like with any subject I can relate it to The Office. I can find a connection to it. Yeah.
Andrea, it looks like you might be playing piano. But you teach piano on the side, so I guess maybe that qualifies.
Yeah, I like pianos.
They're fun. You got the black keys and the white keys. It's like, hey, this is cool.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any, maybe shows or book series that you're really into, recently?
Oh, I like the Hunger Games a lot.
Yes. You know what I'm reading?
Better?
It's a Japanese movie came out a couple of years ago. It's a similar.
Is there a book though? Because I like books
I'm sure there's a manga of that.
and movies.
You know what I'm obsessed with right now? The Hobbit. The Hobbit. Okay. I will admit, 2 years ago in December when I saw the first movie, I hadn't read the books. I hadn't really. I still haven't seen The Lord of the Rings. To be honest with you, I don't know. I just don't know. I tried to watch it, and then I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. But now that I've been so into The Hobbit, I'm watching that trilogy as soon as I get home. But if you see me in the autograph room, that's what I've been doing, in breaks when there's no one there. I've just been reading The Hobbit. It's great. But I had to read it for school, right? And I've seen the first movie and the second movie on the big screen. And so I've been listening to the audiobook and watching scenes from the movie, and I've just been getting so into it. And as much as the trilogy is so long, it's each movie is 3.5 hours long, I'm never bored. And a lot of people complain about it and like, oh, it's so long, they dragged it out. But I don't know, I just don't get bored by it. Like, I can watch it. I could watch it over and over again, like for some reason. It's just like, yeah! You kill that spider. Do that. I don't know. And there's like 100 sword fighting scenes, but I just never get tired of it because they're so classy and they never mess up, like no matter what. They never die. They're always like, I don't know, I'm just really into it right now. Know that I'm excited about something when I start flinging my Then there was that, and then there was this, and then there was this, and okay.
Shadow puppets.
I have 2 questions. The first one is, why do you have different voice actors doing the same voice? I mean, I'm sure you sound great, especially you, Krieger, since you do Sweetie Belle, but why don't you just sing for your own characters? And the second question is, if you had full control and could put your MLP characters in any situation, what situations would you put them in?
Okay, the answer to the first question is to ask production and not us.
Yeah.
That's not our call. That's not our choice. It's their decision, so you can ask them.
If you write for the voice, then they cast you, and if you're good for 2 characters and they sound different, then yeah, sure.
Yeah.
No problem.
And now, what situation will we put our characters in? Because this is an important question, because I know somebody is going to draw it. I take it very seriously. What's that? Well, was that a suggestion? What do you think? Okay. Pinkie Pie. Said in space before, those drawings were pretty good. Pinkie Pie as a pirate, and Fluttershy as a mermaid, and Apple Bloom as the parrot. Let it be.
Sounds about right.
Apple Bloom! I don't know where to look.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. Okay, I just wanted to know, is there a particular actor on the show who you get along with really well so that when you do Fluttershy or Pinkie Pie with that particular actor who plays his or her character, I guess, the chemistry is there?
The magic?
Yeah.
I think, we've been working together for quite a while now that it's kind of everybody blends, I have to say, but the opposite of that, it's kind of tricky to do scenes with Twilight Sparkle because she's actually not there. So we've got other people that read in for her. So hopefully it's still magical when you hear it. But it can be tricky because you have to sort of imagine what Twilight would do. So, but I think everyone else is pretty love working with everyone, so it's good.
Yeah. Is there anyone that I mesh with particularly well in the studio that have to be Peter New? We're pretty crazy. He's like my uncle. He's like a really funny uncle. Like we've been going to conventions for good lord, almost 2 years now. And at each convention that we go to, we came up with this character called Lord Pilot. He's a hippo. He's a very fancy hippo, and he lives a very luxurious life. But we always would write notes to each other, like when we're signing autographs, we'd send paper airplanes. Some of you have probably actually seen this in action. But we draw little drawings and poems and tales of Lord Pilot. So that's kind of our special thing that we have, and we do that in the studio sometimes. So yeah.
So that's why you're chugging those things around.
Yeah. I have a file of these little pieces of napkins and folded up Apple Bloom and the pictures that we sign in autograph sessions. It's great.
Hello. First of all, thank you so much for all the great job you do. That was pretty amazing, and I enjoy every episode they do. But thank you. But my question is, for all the seasons so far, which episodes are you most enjoy? Which episodes are your favorites so far for the 4 seasons now?
Well, I mentioned before, my all-time favorite is still Party of One.
Yeah, that is hilarious.
Hard to beat that.
There's all of the things that I laugh at are honestly Pinkie Pie. That's like the one reason why I actually really, I watched season 1 and 2 quite a bit. Like I thought it was really funny. Like I got into it.
Michelle.
Yeah.
It's a lot coming from you.
Yeah. But yeah, anything Pinkie Pie, I just think it's hilarious. It's great.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
All right, so my question is, what's the most memorable encounter you ever had with a single brony before?
Oh boy.
Well, there's been lots. I'll share with you something. Actually, I just got a message on Twitter, or a tweet from someone last week, and he said that he was blind and that he really appreciated the voice acting on the show and that he would especially, that's what he's going off of, and he said that he loved it and it made it for him. So that was like, kind of as compliments go, it doesn't really get any better than that. So that was pretty special.
I mean, there's been a lot of occasions where fans have said, I mean, really, like, heart-fulfilling things and saying, like, the show has saved me, and, like, it's brought me to a new level of happy, like, I'm happy, and, you know, of course, I mean, a lot of people say that about the show. But, you know, there's been a couple of people who have actually said that it saved them it's saved their life, right? And so I've actually gotten quite a few emails and letters about that and saying thank you and stuff. So that's really, I don't even know how to respond to that. I mean, it's amazing. So it's yeah. I don't know what to say because it's, you know, it saved their life. So it's really touching.
Hi, I order Andrew Lemon a challenge. Since you know Fluttershy and Pinkie Pie so well, why don't you do an impression of one character, do an impression of the other?
Like, she's always like, I don't know, like, what are you gonna say, Fluttershy? Just spit it out. Yay? Come on! Well, I don't know, Pinkie. I really don't appreciate you saying that. You're always like, chimmy cherry, changa, or whatever. You know? It's really distracting. Did I pass the challenge? I think
All right, so my question is, out of the executive producers that you've worked with, what are your more favorable moments with them?
Executive producers? Who's that? Like Devin and Sarah? Yeah, they're nice. One time they brought in a cake.
Yes.
That was awesome. Yes.
And then I had to leave early, and I sneakily like took a tiny.
You weren't sneaky at all. You were like, and your dad's like, what are you doing?
I took this. I was like, took the plate.
Well, I think one person that doesn't get a lot of mention and maybe really deserves to is Terry Classen.
Oh yeah.
No one knows about Terry. Uncle Terrence. He's the best.
Coming to BronyCon.
I've heard
Baltimore.
Really?
Yeah.
So, for those of you who don't know, Terry Classen is the vocal director. So he's the guy.
He's the guy that we work with.
Yeah, so he's the one who tries to wrangle them. Tries.
Oh, God.
Tries.
Hello. I have two questions for you. First, when you're in the studio recording, how many times do you have to repeat like a single line before whoever's listening says it's just right? And And then I'll get to the second question, and I'll let you answer the first one.
So what we do is we do 2 runs. We run things by scene so that we can get a flow going back and forth between characters, and we always do that twice so that we at least have a safety. And then we run it once, we'll get some notes. They'll say, oh, Pinkie Pie, we couldn't understand anything you said. Clarity, I get that note.
I get clarity a lot too.
You get
It gets really intense sometimes. And then sometimes Terry's like, just say the word normally. You don't have to put an accent. Just say the word normally. But
can.
It's always what is it? About, because it's about like out. And he says out. We do that for about 1 minute, and I can't even really tell the difference. Because I say out, and then he says no, and I say out. He's like yes, and I'm like, well, I don't know what. This is different. That's how I still don't really know how to say that word, and I have to say it a lot. So and it's an American show too, so it's like you have to do those pronunciations.
It's one of those crazy Canada-American things.
Yeah.
And then
what
after
we're talking about.
And then after we've done 2 runs, then we'll go back and there might be certain lines where they'll want something different. And it just depends. And there's certain lines that are tricky or they may have different ideas. We'll try it this way. Or what if this was happening? And Max, I mean, you could really get stuck on a line and have to do it 20 times type of thing.
Yeah.
But it doesn't happen too often. Average would be the 2 runs and then maybe a couple lines like 3 or 4 times.
And then sometimes they'll say like, okay, just give us that line 3 times in a row.
Yeah. And then it loses all meaning.
Yeah. What's the line again?
Right, and second question, I know the previous speaker here kind of asked for an impression from you, Andrew Lippman, but could you do an impression of Fluttershy's yay?
Of what?
Fluttershy's yay.
Oh. Yay. Another crazy task.
It's like engraved in our minds now. Yay, aren't you gonna stay for brunch?
My question is kind of for both of you. Are there voices that you guys enjoy voicing the characters that you usually enjoy, but are there voices you kind of wish you didn't do or kind of didn't really enjoy at all?
Voices that we wish we didn't do, so like what are we ashamed of?
No, like voices that were just kind of iffy, not really
Just didn't really stick with us. Like, well, it's kind of.
I feel that way when I have to do, on shows you have to do sometimes incidentals, so that means it's just like an extra role, like 1 line, and it's just tough because they have to use who's ever in the room, and so it comes down to me and they're like, we need you to be a woman. And I'm like, but I'm just a girl, and I sound so young, so it's hard for me to try and be like a mom, so I'd say that's my challenge and struggle.
Kind of our job is even if we don't like a character, we have to give it all we have and we have to get into it and get used to it. Even if we don't really particularly like the character or the script or whatever, that's our job and we have to stick with it. So yes.
Yes, hi. I was wondering, you two obviously have voiced a lot of different characters in your careers. I was wondering if you've ever really connected with one and as you're reading a script or voice acting them or whatever, if you've ever took with you something that was unique to that character or something that they developed in their, during the show's run or whatever that you've taken to heart?
When I was growing up, I did the voice of Madeline, and I always liked, I was always the smallest kid in my class, so I liked how she said, inside I'm tall, and I always thought, inside I'm tall too. And I like her attitude, and she's so brave and a leader, so.
I've never really had a character that that is a lot like me. Because I'm odd. I mean, honestly, I'm an odd person. But I mean, there's certain things, even in Apple Bloom, that, by connecting it with something that is in your life that you can, that brings something extra to the character, something personal to the character. So I've done that. Okay, I'll just use Apple Bloom for example, since obviously we're at a cooking convention.
No.
This is actually a Star Trek con. These people are here to see Robert Picardo.
Yeah, so in Apple Bloom, I guess she's young and adventurous, and I'm adventurous, and I don't. She's like, there's certain sides of Apple Bloom that I can't relate to, and there's certain sides that I definitely can. Like her sometimes she gets very excited and passionate about things, and sometimes that lets her down. And I get very into things, like no matter what it is, I'm just very passionate about it. So I think that's one thing that kind of reminds me of myself. So.
Just assuming that during the next season they're still not going to have the key marks, they're having their key marks yet. Given that one thing that Apple Bloom tried earlier at potion making, she was still doing it that we had in Twilight Time, and she's making progress. What would you think about that being her special talent?
So that's pretty rad. I mean, a lot of people are suspecting the whole, because the episode in season 2 where they're singing the song in the talent show, and they all have 3 talents that you see, like, why aren't you on the scooter? Why aren't you doing arts and crafts? So that's kind of where I'm sure what you guys are all like, I bet you it's going to be something arts and crafts, but potion making would be very cool.
I think it's going to be unicycling.
Yeah. Or hot dog making.
Eating?
That was the randomest example I could have possibly just come out of my head. Hot dog, that's great.
When you work at the studio,
You're sticking it up on hot dog.
what is your favorite part about working there?
Tabitha's cookies?
Yeah, and the people. The best part about working is that we work with amazing, funny, kind, awesome people.
Absolutely.
The best thing in the world. And the cookies.
Yeah, and the cookies.
So maybe try going to that line again.
First off, I just want to say I'm a huge fan of you guys' characters in the show. It's really fun seeing you guys on screen. But my question is, if you guys could write in your character saying any line you wanted, what line would that be?
Just like that.
Oh,
I am the captain now.
I'm the captain now. I just like that line. Apparently, that's like, because that guy who won the Oscar, or did he win the Oscar? I don't know whether he did, but then the new movie that came out. Help me out here. Yes.
Yeah.
I just think that's like a really cool line. It's just, I say that all the time.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm the captain now. Take my friend's cracker. I am the captain now.
Still there? So my question is, in the episode Philly Vanilli, how Fluttershy is very shy and doesn't like to perform, in public, and just would prefer to perform, behind a curtain. I guess my question is, when you're doing your voices and is there anything that you would prefer to have with you, or that you do to when you're on cue and on action, that would help you to, feel more comfortable doing your voices when you for the show?
I feel pretty comfy. I've been doing it a long time. When I get in the studio and I'm behind a microphone, it feels like home. So, I always have, I guess, water with me is good.
Water's good.
Tea, if I'm feeling a little scratchy. Scratch.
Yep.
That's about it.
That sums it up.
You want to be comfortable?
Yeah.
You don't want to wear any noisy clothes. And that's about it. And then
Have my Contigo.
Your what?
For those of you, if I have a Contigo every day of my life. Anywhere I go.
What is that?
It's a thermos.
Is that what that is?
Yes. Okay. A Contigo is a wonderful contraption.
What's so great about it?
Because
Michelle?
it keeps the water so cold for like 18 hours. It's amazing. Most people think I'm drinking coffee or something. I'm not. I'm drinking ice cold water. and it's fantastic because it holds water and it keeps it cold. How much more amazing can something get?
It's a thermos.
Because I know, but it keeps things very hot or very cold.
It's a thermos.
No, okay. No, you don't understand. The only thing that I drink is water. Sometimes I'll drink orange juice or, I don't know, hot chocolate, but I drink water all the time.
I saw you drink a milkshake today.
I did. I drank a milkshake.
Did you drink it out of a
Technically,
Frontino?
guys, that's ice cream and strawberries. That's not a drink. I'm talking about like
That's not a
soda
drink.
or like Coca-Cola. I can't have any pop. Something that I just love about life is having ice cold water all the time. And that's just what makes me happy.
Before
So
we
you know
get
what?
too far off on a thermos.
Sorry. These make me so happy. I'm like 20 years old.
I did want to point out for Philly Vanilli, you actually do sing for Fluttershy.
Yeah.
So she was singing Fluttershy's part in that episode, and I think that that's worthy of a bit of applause because that was
My question is, how has the show impacted your life?
What? Big time?
Yeah.
Like, boom.
Yeah. I mean, we get to do this every month, and we get to see you, and we get to talk to you, and have so much fun, and travel a bunch of places, and we have such good friends on the show, and then we make good friends with you, all you bronies. We never would have expected this. We always say this, but honestly, it's true. I would have never guessed this. I mean, this is just amazing.
It is, and meeting new people and learning. I mean, the more people you meet and talk to, the more you grow as a person. I really feel that way. So, yeah, I think it's true. I think it's just the best thing about life. So I feel just incredibly lucky. And so I kind of remind myself, like, remember how lucky you are to be on this show?
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
When I auditioned for this, I mean, I just thought I was a regular. Someone is cackling back there. Someone's like making an evil potion.
You know what's crazy now though is now when people audition to come on the show, it's crazy, like the pressure.
And we auditioned for this, we're like, oh, this is cool. All right.
Yeah, right.
It's fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Hi. Outside of like work and conventions, do you ever like use your voices in everyday settings? Like if you go to like a fast food joint and like pick up food, do you ever like accidentally use like Pinkie Pie or Squeaky Belle or something like that?
I don't think those particular characters, but I do find that when I come out of a session, I'm really animated. Yeah, what's going on? It's just like, calm down. Myself. A little bit,
Yeah, I don't really use my Little Pony voices, but I'm always talking in accents. I'm always like, I just break into things when I'm talking to people.
I just talk in my normal voice when I answer the phone, and that's enough for someone to ask if my mom's home, so. It's true, all the time.
In the Cutie Punks episode, when Apple Bloom has to speak French, did you already know how to do that, or did they have to bring someone in to teach you, or what was the deal with that?
Well, here's the thing. I don't know French very well, and I'm not even taking French this year in my school year. But I do have very good pronunciation because I good ears. Like so, in terms of the accent, it's like it wasn't a trouble. So it was just a matter of figuring out how to pronounce the words. So yeah, but it wasn't me. It was